With much anticipation, we are finally here. With many hours of work, I gladly present to you CLO Designing Education's very first shoe. We're going to get into the video about how I made this shoe. But if you haven't seen the previous videos, go check my playlist and you can actually see the 3 videos prior to this one. Hey guys, welcome back to CLO Designing Ed. Hopefully you had a great week. Yeah, this video is all about making this shoe right here, but I want to talk about a couple things before we get into the shoe build. I am running a campaign for an education learning center that I am building, and if you're interested in supporting that, click on the link below. There you'll learn more about the project, and we're raising money to go ahead and get that built. So if you can contribute, it will be greatly appreciated. Any support, whether it's a direct contribution to the project or even sharing the campaign out, will be greatly appreciated. Today is the day we complete our project on making our own DIY shoes. In our previous videos, we learned how to make these shoe soles, and if you haven't seen those videos, I'll make sure to leave the link up here. Today's objective is to make the shoe banding that goes on to the sole, which is right here, the strip that tightens up and cleans up the edge of the shoe. And once we make that banding, we're going to take that banding and glue it onto our brand new shoes. Okay, these are the brand new shoes which were hand sewn. And if you're interested in how these shoes were made, go over to Thimblebook on YouTube. There's videos explaining and demonstrating how you can make your own custom shoes. All right, these are hand sewn. These are actually sewn with precision. Also, I have my custom CLO tags added to the back. But there are a lot of great things with getting your own customized shoes. So we're gonna take these soles and attach them right to the shoe. In order to do that, we're going to be using the Angelus clear. We're going to be using the Angelus clear shoe cement. Okay, this will be my first time using this cement, and we'll see how it does. All right, let's go ahead and make that shoe banding first, and then we'll get on to gluing the bottom sole to the shoe. Okay, so what we need to make the edge banding, first we're going to start off with our molds here. So I got 2 that I designed and 3D printed, and this will make the banding for the sides. Next up, you're going to need 3 mixing cups, 1 labeled A, 1 labeled B, and then also your mix cup, and I already have them pre-labeled. Okay, next up you're going to need your liquid rubber, and I'm using Sigmpack 85 right here. Okay, so you're gonna need your rubber. Also, you're gonna need some gloves and a platform to lay. And also, if it's not a 1-to-1 mix, you're gonna be needing a scale. And right now, I'm gonna power this with my portable battery bank over here. All right, so this is everything you need: scale, mold, cups, rubber, and gloves. All right, so let's go ahead and get these bands made. Okay, so here's the mold. I've already glued it down with hot glue. I want to prep this. So last time in the last video, we used silicone mold release. So we're going to use this again. But also I want to experiment with some things. So here we got some baby oil here, and I'm just going to put it in one of the lanes. And then also some Vaseline I'll put in the second lane. That way, if it doesn't work out, we won't mess up the whole batch. So I'm going to try baby oil, Vaseline, and silicone mold for the last 6. All right, let's get to it. Okay, here are the emblem molds, which will go on the back of the shoe. Now, I got 2 blanks here. These were supposed to be the smiley faces logo. But more on that, why that didn't turn out how it was supposed to be. So I just got 2 squares here, and I'll add that face emblem later. But we're going to do the same thing, all silicone release here. This one's going to be silicone release for the bottom 2, and baby oil and Vaseline just to see which one works. All right, let's give it a shot. Now the molds are prepped and ready to go. Let's go ahead and get that rubber mixed. Okay, just to show you here that it's 100 grams part B to 85 grams of part A. Okay, now we're gonna mix part A and part B into the mix cup and stir for 4 minutes until it gets a little bit warm, and then we'll start pouring it into the mold. One thing I want to mention in this clip is when you're pouring your rubber, you want to make sure that your mold surface is level. That way there's no runoff. Also, you want to do this in a quick sweeping motion before that rubber begins to gel. Okay, I just want to show I over poured the mold a little bit, but that's okay. I can get some scissors and trim the excess flashing off. Also, I had to put a piece of metal in the back to level it back up so there wouldn't be any runoff. But guys, we just got to wait 2 hours and demold them after that and see what we got. Okay, next step is the gluing process while the edge banding dries. Then Angelus clear shoe cement, and the directions are on the back here. Basically, this says you put on a thin layer, wait 15 minutes for it to dry, and then press both together. And I realize it says a vice press. So I think what I'm going to do is before I paint the surface and attach the sole, I'm going to do some cleanup on this second sole. I still got a little 3D print stuff on there. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up this second sole here and then apply the glue. Plus I have to go ahead and sand both sides anyway. So I'm going to prep that. And then I'm going to cut 2 pieces of wood the same shape as this to allow to slide in and then press together. But I'll demonstrate what that looks like in a minute. Okay, so we're about to use the CNC to make the wood cutout for the insert. So the order is going to be insert, shoe, clamp, another piece of wood, while the glue sets and clamps it all together. Okay, over here I have the shoe sole set up on the Inventable software, and I just made this path with Inkscape, okay, which is a free software. And so is this easel Inventables. So this is going to route to the CNC and cut out that, and I'll make 2 of those to go ahead and make my vice clamp. All right, ladies and gents, sometimes you got to make adjustments on the fly. So right now I've got everything I need on the table, including we got the cutout for the press here. Also, make sure I sanded each sole down really well. Got the clamps right here. And the glue. And the glue basically says that I gotta wipe down a thin layer, wait 15 minutes, and then vice clamp them together. So that's what I'm gonna do. It says it's a 24-hour set time, but we're just gonna get it cinched up there good enough to test wear the shoes and make sure everything fits great. This segment by far took the most time. Basically what you have to do is go ahead and get the glue, use the brush, and make sure
there's a thin layer on both sides of what you're trying to glue together. This is more of a contact cement, so once you spread that glue on both ends of the sole and the bottom of the shoe, then you press them together with decent pressure. And one thing I want to pass on that you don't make the mistake of doing is trying to glue these together too soon. There is a 15-minute wait time. That way the glue gets tacky, and you want to make sure that you're waiting all 15 minutes. Now, in this part of the video, I'm actually demonstrating how it's clamped down to be set. And then once you hit the glue and spread it on there and clamp it down, you just want to let that glue sit for 24 hours. Okay, here I just have it resting on the end of a coffee table, and you just want to let that sit once you spread it and press that glue. Okay, ladies and gents, while this sets up, we got about 1 hour and 30 minutes left. We're going to demold this as the glue set to dry. And then once these are done, we can demold these, cut the flashing off, and clean them up, and then glue them to the shoe. All right, guys, the siding is ready. One thing I noticed, I already kind of tested it out a little bit, and the Vaseline side literally came out without any issues. So we're gonna have to actually look at how it turned out as far as looks, but I think the Vaseline will be a good solution. Okay, I just want to make mention here are the parts you want to sand and clean up. And before you can glue any of the rubber surfaces, you want to make sure that they are roughened up with the sandpaper and ready to go. Now here I'm just showing up close some of the deformation from the mold itself. You want to make sure that mold is smooth so that way there's no pitting. Later on, I put those bands in a laser etcher and use them for the bumper. All right, so in this step right here, we're going to do the same thing as the shoe sole, and you're going to add glue to the strips, then add glue to where you want it to bond to the shoe. Wait 15 minutes, and then you will press them together. Here I'm just demonstrating and showing the progress, and it's moving along very well. Some things I want to talk about at the end, I'm already pointing it out. Normally you would have the band all in one strip. I was trying to create a solution where people can make a mold and just print it out and make your bands that way. But you can really just do the same thing with a strip of wood and pour the rubber in that. But over here, I'm using a heating gun to make the rubber bands more malleable, and that's what you want. I was hesitant to use the heating gun at first, but I noticed that it made the rubber more pliable and it made the glue even more sticky. So definitely have a heat gun and use that heat gun as you're going to glue the edge banding and the soles to the shoe. It always helps. You want to make sure that you're pressing with firm pressure as that glue sets. But overall, it's coming together, guys, and you can see here there are some gaps in between each segment, but you can just add more glue or heat it back up and really press that to mitigate that. On the next shoe, I'm going to make a solid strip so that we only have to worry about one edge seam. And you know, you can really see that that shoe is coming along. So I'm just demonstrating, pointing out those gaps, and let's get ready for the final reveal. segment of the video, I'm demonstrating how the new pair looks compared to an older shoe. And guys, I was really impressed at how nicely these shoes look. There I'm demonstrating the logo in the back, and these shoes felt very comfortable, even more comfortable than a shoe that I would have bought out the store. And you know, it feels just like walking in a store-bought shoe. Okay, here I'm just demonstrating all sides, including the inside, and really guys, it felt really comfortable. I was surprised at how comfortable that shoe sole felt. One thing you can see that I added that feather pattern to the toe and the bumper, but guys, I was really impressed at the quality of this shoe.
Guys, overall, I really enjoyed this project. Some of the things that I have to still do are over here is kind of round off the front bumper of the shoe. I really like that I was able to add that feather pattern to the rubber. Also, I really just like the fact that everything came together, even though for the next shoe, what I'm going to do is make it a solid piece of rubber. That way there aren't these partitions in the shoe. The sole, I just love the design, so I'll probably be using this same sole design for multiple shoes. And definitely the interior is very unique, and I really give a shout out to thimblebook.com for creating such a beautiful shoe. And that was a project for me to do, to actually add the trim and the rubber sole to the shoe, and also any other accessories that went with it. Believe it or not, even though you see the color change here in the sole from gray to white, it all came from that same canister of rubber, just that I added dye to the bottom half. As far as the shoe jig is concerned, it actually worked out. I basically slit this inside of the shoe and put another supporting piece of wood underneath that as the glue solidified, and you clamp it in, and that will allow the glue to dry to the bottom of the shoe. So overall, the shoe jig was pretty much a success, but I'm going to refine this design a little bit more, make it more automated, so that way if someone else wanted to make a shoe, it would be a lot easier for them to clamp the shoe down while the glue dries. As far as the Angelus glue, this was my first time using this glue, and I have to say I have nothing to compare it to. There's other shoe adhesives out there, and as I continue to make more shoes, I'm going to implement different adhesives and cements to see which one holds up the best. But so far so good. It held up well. I mean, my shoe is literally solid and it works well, so I can't give it a bad rating. So I'll see how well it holds up, you know, through rough treatment, durability, rain, different temperatures in the environment, but we'll see how long it lasts. So I have to apologize because I gave some information in my prior videos. I used to use this with silicone molds, and that's exactly what this mold release is for, silicone molds. So in other words, trying to use it with a PLA or ABS 3D print is not going to work, because this is intended for a flexible silicone mold. This is a great mold release. It works, just not for this application. What I found out was the baby oil did not work at all, but it was actually the Vaseline that created that barrier, and now as you can see, I can reuse these molds again. But I have a big pile of wasted liquid rubber that actually got stuck to the mold, and I couldn't use these. So just to give you some information, if you're going to use a 3D printed mold, you're probably going to have to use some kind of wax or some kind of petroleum jelly or something like that in order for your rigid mold to release from that. But now that I know, I could have just used the silicone mold in the beginning, but I didn't know that. So next time I'll do that. Shouts out to DJ and making the comment within my third video, and I'm going to highlight that comment in the comment section below. And I really appreciate your comment. I'm going to implement that in future projects and also for the Learning Center. When I make videos on YouTube, they're very abbreviated, meaning that a lot of the knowledge that I have and what I would like to teach cannot be summed up within an hour and 50-minute video. So that's what the courses are for, and that's what the Learning Center is for, and also my publications. So if you would like to check out more information on that campaign, or if you'd like to support or donate to that campaign, just click on the link below. if you would like to support the channel, go to clolearnshop.com. There you'll find many handmade products and also different merchandise that I sell, including books, games, and more. Guys, I really appreciate you subscribing, supporting the channel, and tuning in. Guys, I'll see you on the next video, and take care.